what you want, when you want it, where you want it. This is The Mesh.
U.S. Health Advisors wants you to know your health coverage does not have to be complicated. If you aren't happy with your insurance plan, there are unlimited and comprehensive medical plan options available to you right now. U.S. Health Advisors offers solutions which can't be found anywhere else. They can even offer you the ability to purchase more coverage if and when you need it. U.S. Health Advisors offers fair rates and no surprises. Sounds nice, doesn't it? If you'd like to know more, contact U.S. Health Advisors at 828-554-3032 or by email at daniel.bryant@ushadvisors.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 24, volume 2 of Big Fan. My name is Chad East, and today's episode, I am not a big fan of daylight savings time, watering my grass when leaves fall on it for the last 3 weeks, and fantasy football losses when you stay up all night and end up getting beat by half of a point.
My name's Hank Eimer, and I'm a big fan. I'm not a fan. I'm a big fan.
Got it.
Savoring the last few innings of the Major League season. Mm-hmm. Walking into 10-year skill assessments with your chest pressed out knowing you have the first pick.
What a feeling.
Eating Halloween candy from your boy's stash without him even knowing it's gone. Big fan.
Yes, sir. Very well. Very well, Hank. Well, man, I'm so glad to be back here in the Big Fan Studios. It's been about a month since I've been here last.
Yep.
Had Furniture Market the last couple of weeks. I'm a business man. You know what I'm saying? So I'm here and there. I'm everywhere, just trying to make deals happen. You know I'm going with. Well, anyway, I do want to say before we get going is I want to say a special thank you to Moose, who filled in so admirably last week for me. Because, when you sit in this chair, you sit in the Chatty's chair, that is a big chair to sit in. You know what I'm saying?
I think we talked about that.
Yeah, I haven't even listened to the episode. I'm sure it was spectacular. And this is why I'll tell you, last week I received not 1, not 5, not 10, not 20 texts. And let me just read a few of these, okay?
I can't wait.
From my loyal listeners. First one, WTF, okay? Second one, Lord, what is going on here, okay? Third, please, Chad, make it stop. Fourth, this is my favorite. After that episode, I think I'm suffering from PTSD for the rest of my life. Was that the Vietnam War? That's what those are the texts I got from our loyal listeners. Now, granted, I'm sure it wasn't Moose's fault. I'm sure Moose did a spectacular job.
He did a great job.
I'm going to put this all on you, Hank Eimer. Tell me what happened.
So, Chad, I'll tell you what happened. You had some nice texts from the 5 people that listened to the show to hear you. So congratulations.
Yes,
you heard from your fans. Congratulations.
Yes, thank you very much.
I think you should listen to the episode and give us your thoughts on it.
I will check it
out.
out.
I know you're busy.
Yeah.
But we had a good time when we were in here. And the biggest thing is?
What's that?
Is I told our loyal listeners that I didn't change seats. We all know where the captain's chair is here. All right? So that's the guest seat.
Is that right?
That's
Hank?
the guest seat.
Do
right
I need
there.
to call Addison Fox back into the studio and kick you right out of that captain's seat? Your captain's seat.
You can have him.
Okay.
All right, you can have him.
Yes.
But let's just agree. That's good to be back together.
It is. It does feel good to be back here sharing thoughts.
Right. It does.
Yes.
It does.
So since we just talked about possibly the worst Big Fan episode of all time, let's focus on a couple other worst things of all time. Hank, are you ready? Top 5 Hank's hierarchy. Let's go here. Let's jump right in.
Let's jump.
Number 1, let's go worst song of all time. All right? Let's go. We'll start with you, Hank. Worst song of all time.
I'm going to go Tom's Diner. Do you know what that song is?
Sing it for me.
No, I don't. I can't remember.
Here, I'm playing it. You think
I
that's what
was walking in the diner, and then it's an awful song. Okay, it's by like Susan Vega.
Yes, I think you're right.
Come on, that's an awful song. But I will listen to it every time it comes on the radio.
I know you will.
You know
exactly.
You know,
you'll sing right along,
and I'll sing with it.
Yes.
You know, she was checking her umbrella. It's so stupid. It doesn't like there's no rhyme to it. But I'm sure like Moose is like, oh, it's a wonderful.
Oh, he probably plays that at Tap Room every Saturday night.
Yeah,
I'm sure.
It's a wonderfully done song. But how about you? What's your worst?
This one, buddy, this is a no-brainer for me. Let's see if I can get it to play. This is a 1987 classic that a band by the name of Chumbawamba.
Awful.
Chumbawamba.
I already know where you're going with it.
And for some reason, it's not playing, but you... Oh, here it comes.
No, that's not it. That's not it. It's Tub Thumping.
Tub Thumping, yes, but I wanted to hear the terrible... Here, this is how it starts. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never going to keep me down.
It's an awful song.
It's a pretty terrible song, but that's the worst song I think of all time. 1987, Chumbawamba, Tub Thumping.
Okay.
Thank you. Let's go immediately into the worst movie of all time. Staying on the genre of worst of all time,
right,
because of the episode that I missed, right? A big fan episode I missed 2 weeks ago.
I really don't like where this is going and headed in the dark cloud that you're putting over our episode, right, Moose? I was proud of your performance, and I hate.
He said that's BS.
Yeah, I know it is. It is BS. But if you want to go with movies, when you kind of were talking through yours while you were writing, and I heard it, and it kind of shares a similar theme with mine, and you'll get it when I say it.
Yes.
Worst movie ever. It's got to, and it's got a huge following, and I don't know if that means there's more idiots out there than I give credit to.
Probably so.
Sharknado.
Yeah, which episode, 1 or 9?
I think the last one has to be the dumbest. I remember that there's.
Have you seen them all?
No,
Oh.
No, I haven't seen any of them. But I did see one like on Shark Week. There was one. It was like Ian Ziering was in one.
Yes, he's the star.
He's the star. That should tell you.
I don't think he was caught up in the tornado and eaten by a shark until Sharknado 7. So I think he made it through 7 of them. Then they had to get someone to replace Ian.
Is this a Midwest problem? Is this?
It's Tornado Alley. Tornado Alley is where it happens.
Okay, they suck them in from the Gulf.
Yes, exactly.
Okay, well, that's got to be the top.
Yeah, worst movie of all time. I'm staying on the shark theme with my worst movie of all time, which is funny or maybe ironic, however you want to look at it. But my favorite movie, or top 3, is Jaws 1, right?
Right.
The worst movie is Jaws 4. Sure. Now, remember the premise of Jaws 4. The mother of the kids and the wife of the dude who went out in Jaws 1 to kill the big Jaws, the big shark, travels to she moves all over the place because she thinks the shark is following her. So she moves to the Bahamas. Guess who shows up on the shore, cruising around, staring at her, waiting for her to dip her toe into the ocean? Jaws 4, right?
Jaws grandson.
Jaws grandson, whoever it is. Jaws' cousin's uncle's grandson. Then, where does she move to? She moves to India.
Sri Lanka.
Sri Lanka. Goes out, she walks out to the little pier. She looks out. Guess who's out there swimming around? Then she decides, I ain't having it. I'm going somewhere where I know Jaws cannot get me.
The pyramids.
She moves to Kansas. Okay. She goes to Kansas. Guess who knocked on her door?
Right up the Mississippi, right? Is that where that
right
guy
up the Mississippi?
Came right up the Delta.
Comes Jaws' grandson's cousin right up there looking for us. So I'm telling you, if you get a chance, don't watch this movie.
I won't watch that movie.
So terrible.
Yeah, and the funny thing is the sharks are terrifying animals, right?
Yes.
But you put them in a different situation and they're hilarious. And the Saturday Night Live skit where where they're in the apartment and the person is scared of the shark attack and it gets the knock at the door and it's like, housekeeping. And they refuse to go to the door is genius. It's absolutely genius.
Because the shark's out there waiting. I mean, they must have seen Jaws 4 to come up with that skit. You know what I mean? Oh, right. It's so great. All right, Hank, let's move on to our next topic of worst ever. Let's go to worst TV show. TV show.
Got one. I don't know if it's because I'm kind of like jaded because I'm in the real estate business, like that's my profession. But I cannot stand The Property Brothers.
Yeah, 2 smug sons of a guns, right?
Yeah, I cannot stand that show. And many people, you just took my list of things.
I'm going to give it back.
Many people.
Giving it back to you.
Many people are are just drawn to them,
Yes.
and they have this expert status, and I think that they're terrible.
Yeah. So, do you ever watch the show? Like, have you seen?
I think HGTV is the bane of my profession.
Really?
Yes.
I'm going to stay on that theme. I think my show comes on the Food Network. I'm looking for it right now. I don't see it here, but it's either Food Network or Bravo, but it's Cake Wars. Any show that you're making cakes and battling other people, I'm not down with that. I don't like sweets, and I don't like violence. Cake Wars? Do you see where I'm going here? I'm out.
That's a terrible analogy. Welcome back.
Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Good to
okay,
be
I
on.
get it. Cake Wars.
Cake Wars. Top. Terrible. All right, staying in. This is your topic that you actually brought up. Worst clothing trends.
Oh, yeah.
This is great. I would have never come up with this. Go for it, Hank. Worst clothing trends.
Without a doubt, mesh shirts.
And when have you? When
I think in
when
the
is
80s,
the trend?
the mesh shirt was very hot.
You know what? Billy Idol. I do remember a Billy Idol video where he was rocking a mesh shirt on top of a building.
Yeah.
We're
It's
the
about-
rebel, yeah. Something like that.
It's something like that. But, they were great when you'd see a girl, she's got like a corset on, But those shirts found their way to the gentleman that's 60 pounds overweight. And they looked like, it was like kind of like a football jersey, but a real T-shirt.
Yeah, I feel
it
what you're
just wasn't.
saying.
It wasn't a good look.
Yeah.
How about you?
This trend only lasted for a brief minute, and one of our friends, P.D. King, tried to bring it back in the early 2000s.
Uh-oh.
It was big my 8th grade, 9th grade year. It was clam diggers for guys. Do you remember there was jams?
Oh, yeah.
And then the jams went longer where they were past the knee, almost down to the ground, but
Sure
not
did.
like a pant. They were kind of rolled up. So they
Shants.
were a clam digger is what people call them. So anyway, I remember I had a pair and I wore them one time and I got joked out, so we never wore them again. But Petey rocked them at a wedding within the last decade.
Good for him.
Yeah, we
You
were
know
all
what that
looking
is?
at him like
Confidence.
Yeah, you know what? He wore them very well, but he hasn't worn them since.
No.
Right? Yes,
He will
so
not.
anyway, worst clothing trend: clam diggers for guys, mesh shirts for guys for you. And last but not least, following in the Halloween atmosphere, because we're coming to you live October 29th, 2 days before the most festive, haunting day of the year, Hank. Where's Halloween candy of all time?
Not even have to pose the question.
No questions asked.
Candy corn.
And guess what I have on my list, Hank?
Candy corn.
Candy corn.
It's
Yes.
the worst.
Yes.
And I personally kind of I would much rather have a Starburst or a Twizzler or something that resembles plastic. You know what I mean? Opposed to like chocolate.
Mm-hmm.
I'd rather do that. Candy corn is in that family and it sucks.
You like a Twizzler?
I love a Twizzler.
Twizzlers and candy corn to me, because they're waxy.
Yeah.
I can't do it.
No, I like Twizzlers. I think candy corn sucks. And I refuse to eat it. If it were, it's kind of like sweet tea. I'd rather choke to death than drink sweet tea.
Question. Those old peppermint mints that were in your grandma's candy drawer versus candy corn, what would you eat?
Peppermint mint.
You'd go for the peppermint mint over the candy corn. It's been sitting in there for 48 years. You don't care? You don't care it's been sitting in this little dish for 48 years. You're still going to eat it.
I can't stand the candy corn.
Wow, candy corn. Get better, buddy. Get better. Anyway, hey, bud, you got through Hank's hierarchy. Top 5 worst of all time. Good work.
Thank you.
Let's stay on Halloween, Hank.
Okay.
Okay, you know this is a big time here in Hickory, North Carolina. We've got haunted
They
houses.
also do this
galore.
outside of Hickory as well, right? They do it.
It's a big event, I guess, in the entire world.
It's not a Hickory
it's just-
holiday,
it's
but-
not- Are you sure? We sure treat it like here in Hickory, North Carolina, with all the parties and the festivities and the hay rides and you know what I'm saying.
I hear you.
So this is how it kicks off at my house. My wife has had her costume plan for 9 months, brother. 9 months.
Does anybody know what it is?
I know what it is, and a couple girls know what it is because they're doing something together. So 9 months in the works.
Can we share this?
We cannot. This is because there's a party this weekend. It's got to be a surprise. So 9 months planning. Lucy Rose plans. She's had it for 3 weeks. Got her costume. We've doing dress rehearsals and stuff at the house. Pretty big deal at the East House. Olivia ordered hers online Monday. It showed up. What is today? Wednesday. It showed up, I guess, today. 2-day shipping. She's not very fond of Halloween like her mother and her sister are.
Doesn't care.
Not really. Me, don't even have a costume yet, Hank.
Why would you?
It'll just pop. It'll just come to me. It'll just come to me, right? Let's talk about costumes, your house, and then I'll hit you with the next schedule of events for Halloween.
So are you asking, are we not disclosing what these guys? I know she can. I know your wife can. Yes. And I understand that. Are you disclosing what your kids are?
Yeah, so Lucy Rose is an alien, but with this really, it's not like a scary alien. It's like a cheerleader alien. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You know where I'm going? Yeah, so it's got a little antenna. Friendly alien. Lights everywhere. Right. Green makeup and eyeliners and stuff. Yes.
Okay.
Livia is a chicken. So since she was 3, she's always dressed up like an animal.
Yep.
You've seen her. She's been like a
flying
squirrel. She's been a squid. She's been a platypus. She's been a porcupine.
Yeah.
She's been a dragon.
Yep.
But she's a chicken this year, so she's staying with that theme. And again, it's just going to come to me. When my costume comes to me, it will just hit me, and I'll be ready to go.
Right.
So what's going on at your house?
So there is some thought into it. In years past, little boys go through the ninja stage, and then they go through like the werewolf. They want to be the werewolf, whatever. Well, the past few years, Harris has kind of been drawn to kind of like a funnier costume, like he's been sriracha sauce,
fabulous,
right, and stuff like that. So this year, I was like, "What do you want to be?" And he said he wanted to be a pro wrestler. Okay?
Perfect. Speaking of which, before you move on, is there a picture of Hulk Hogan on the back of your Tahoe?
No.
What is that a picture of?
No.
Is that Randy the Macho Man Savage?
No, that's Ric Flair.
Okay.
And if you look in his sunglasses, what he's referencing is I have a sticker on the back of my window that some of our good friends at at Sign Systems did for me.
Okay.
That has Ric Flair's face yelling, "Woo!"
Yes.
And it says Coldwell Banker in his sunglasses.
Oh, that's very creative. Yeah. I was kind of far away from you, but I knew it was a wrestler.
Yeah.
Just couldn't make out who it was. Okay, very good. Go ahead. Continue.
So Harris said that he wanted to be a wrestler. And so I was like, are you going to be a new wrestler? I don't really know, those guys. I know all the old guys. Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, one of the best.
One of the best.
Yes.
So he's got his costume. He's got the long hair, the bandana, the Savage glasses, a shirt that says it. Yesterday he said, Dad, I wish we would have found pink tighty whities, so I could have worn those.
Would he have rocked those?
He said he would have. He's going to wear tights tonight.
Underneath?
No, he's going to wear tights tonight. That's it. No, he was going to wear the tighty whities. Just bang them.
Confident kid here.
Bang them around.
Confident kid.
So
who's Miss Elizabeth?
I asked Reagan if she was going to wear a sequins dress to be Miss Elizabeth. So he's going as that. Okay. Yes. Reagan will not dress up because we're not going to a party, this weekend.
Yeah.
But I have a party at my office. Mm-hmm. Okay. And we're going to do it on Thursday, and I provide lunch and everything else. So I bought one of those inflatable T-Rex because I would have loved it if people came in and I was typing on my computer in that thing. But it is not built for me.
Right.
It is like it is so narrow, like it's fat guy in a little coat kind of deal. And so if I would have busted, it would have busted out. So I have a uniform. I have a referee's outfit, like a legit referee's outfit, and I think I'm going to rock that and blow the whistle and throw flags on people.
Make sure you throw a lot of Erica. Yeah.
Yep.
Right. Boom,
so
boom, boom.
I think that's where I'm going with.
Perfect.
But it might come something different may come up.
You never know.
Might be Sherlock Holmes. You never know.
Let's stay on the wrestling theme. So. Were you ever a big wrestling fan?
I enjoyed wrestling.
Were you WWF or were you like NWA? So I'm older than you.
It's WCW, first of all.
WWF. When I grew up, it was different. So
it wasn't NWA. That was later.
No.
Yes, Arn Anderson and Ric Flair and all those guys
TA.
were WCW.
Dude, that was after NWA. NWA was first.
No, we'll worry about
kindergarten. It could be earlier than that.
Dusty Rhodes.
That's
what I was into.
Okay.
WWF was just too big because you'd only get to see it like after Saturday Night Live.
It was late. Yes, it came on late.
Every once in a while. But the Four Horsemen, Rock and Roll Express.
Yes.
Who else was in there?
There was Midnight Express, and then there was Ron, the Hands of Stone Garvin.
Gardner. Was it Garvin?
It was Garvin, yes. It was Chief Wahoo McDaniel. I think he was in there.
Dusty and Magnum were tag team partners.
Yes, and actually my kindergarten or first grade year, Will Rowland was a big fan, so his mom drove us to Fred T. Ford, where they had the squared circle set up in the middle of the gym, and I saw Magnum TA and Tully Blanchard and Dusty Rhodes and the Rock and Roll Express.
That's pretty awesome.
Can you imagine a first grade's mind just being blown at Fred T. Ford, seeing these fantastic athletes competing?
I have a signed picture of the Four Horsemen.
Wow.
And a friend of ours, Andy Banks, got it for me because she was somewhere like some work thing or right, and she said, "Can you sign this for me?" And she told me that the guy was like, "Oh, how young's your son?" or something like that. She's like, "It's for my friend," and he was like,
He's
sad,
40 years old.
Sad. I was so excited when I got it.
One just wrestling memory, besides actually my favorite wrestling memory is when I came home. I think I might have been in 6th grade. And I was coming back from Grandview, and this is my brother and his friend Chase Hodges. When I say we're into wrestling, I mean they were into wrestling. I come home, drop my book bag off, walk downstairs. We had a pool, and I walk down to the pool, and Jeremy and Chase are dressed up like the Rock and Roll Express. This is on a random Tuesday. Halloween's not even in the picture. We're talking about it's April. It's Tuesday. Dressed up head to toe, Rock and Roll Express, practicing what they would say to the television camera and what moves they were going to do. I mean,
they had all the bandanas.
They had bandanas everywhere, talking like them. It was unbelievable.
That is unbelievable.
Big fans. But my favorite wrestling on TV moment was the first WrestleMania. So it was WWF, and this is when like Randy the Macho Man Savage, Andre the Giant, Hulk Hogan, Coco Beware, and Ricky the Dragon Steamboat, who was my favorite. He fought Randy the Macho Man Savage. It was a tremendous match. But anyway, that was WrestleMania 1. That's over 20. That's almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, I know.
Hard to believe.
Hard to believe. Macho Man, I've got Harris practicing what he says.
Yes.
And so it's funny because I'll be like in my bedroom and I'll hear him walking down the hall and he'll be going, "Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah."
He's going to be perfect. What are his buddies doing? They going to be wrestling guys too?
No, I don't know what they're doing. Max is going to be a ping pong pro, a professional ping pong player. There's some. I don't know what they're all going to be.
Yeah,
so
it's going to be fun.
It'll be fun. That group of boys. There's 4 or 5 of them that get together that are just dumb.
Yeah.
Dumb 10-year-olds.
Well, Halloween starts officially tonight here in Hickory because there is a dress-up party for the kids tonight. I think it's at Lake Hickory.
Yep.
And then tomorrow night at all the churches, it's the trunk or treat. So you go from church to church, and everybody's got their trunks decorated and stuff. That's always really good. Thursday night, it is the big night.
The event.
It is the event of all events here.
And you go to 6th Street.
I go to 6th Street and, prepare just to see all kinds of craziness out there as normal. But what if it rains? Let's talk about this. Have you been through a Halloween where there was a rain out where you just decided, hey, we ain't going out? Did you scrap it or did you put on your rain gear over costume and go tough it out? We're talking about when we're little.
When we're little?
Yeah.
No rain was going to keep me from banging on a door.
Yes,
so
exactly.
I would go.
Yes.
Right now, 43 years old, I'm going to put my best salesman on to my son and tell him that bowl of candy right there.
It's yours, son.
It's yours. It's yours. Yeah. If we don't have to step foot out in that tsunami right now.
Right.
So I don't know. Let's see what he wants to do. But
forecast 40% rain this Thursday.
It was higher than that last time I looked.
It's coming down a little bit.
Who are you, Chad Sprinkle?
That's what I'm going. That's might be who I dress up for Halloween. Chad Sprinkle.
Chad Sprinkle?
Yes.
Okay, Chad.
So anyway, hopefully the rain will hold off, and then there's a couple Halloween parties this weekend too. So for the more adult targeted, and that's where I'm going to break out my costume, and Jennifer's going to break hers out too. She has 3 costumes. She's wearing a costume tonight that's different than the main one. She's wearing one for trunk or treat that's different than the first one. And then she has one to walk the streets of 6th Street. Then she has her final one for the party. That's 4 costumes.
Is this her favorite holiday?
By far. Nothing even close. Nothing even close to this holiday for her. She loves it so.
4 outfits?
4 costumes.
She wear these to work? Like she get all, all day in them?
She will wear, on Halloween, it's the day of Halloween, she will dress up. Right. Probably she'll choose one of her 4.
One of the 4.
Yeah, one of the 4.
But she's going to keep the one under wraps.
That's going to be the secret one, and it's pretty good.
Is it?
It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
I can't wait to see all of them together in their gear. It's going to be good. But anyway, let me tell you a couple of things that have happened to us over the last week, Hank. We started basketball season.
We did.
For our kiddos. It's right upon us. So soccer, baseball, winding down, basketball, right in front of us.
Yep.
We had our tryouts yesterday.
And tonight, right?
And tonight. Tryouts today, last night and tonight. We have our draft on Wednesday. And I heard maybe little LeBron walked into the gym at your tryout yesterday.
I get the first pick. Yeah. Going 0-10 last year, gives me the first pick. Now, we were young. We had one person. We had all 9-year-olds come back. But guess who's getting ready to get good quick? Your boy here.
Get LeBron on the team. Franchise player.
We got a kid that's going to make everybody better, including this team.
Yes.
And people were talking about him before he even came in. And he goes to school with Harris, so I know him. And he is a great athlete. He's a great kid, great family. And but he's something special on a basketball court to the point where one of the coaches
here we go.
tried to give me a sob story that he'd been coaching him for the last few years, and he'd grown a bond with him, and he really wanted to be with him. I was like, I don't care if you're his daddy. He's on my team.
Yes.
I don't care because I need some victories.
Right.
Right?
And how ruthless this coaching gets. I mean, that coach... He's selling you this sob story. Oh, I've coached him the last few years. I really need him. This bond we've created. Come on, coach. You're just trying to win ball games. That's what he's doing.
And I told him, I said, I appreciate you coaching him up to where he is.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. But he's mine now. He is mine. Well, and the good thing, the funny thing is we were talking to the coaches and they look at their draft list. I've got 5 kids returning.
Yes.
Right?
Oh, that's good.
Which is good. Yeah. So I'm going to have to pick one in the first, one in the second, one in the third. Then I'm out.
Right.
Right.
Same for me. I got 5 returners, 3 picks. Boom, boom, boom.
Hey, where you really handcuff your team and hurt it, round 6, 7, 8, 9, you get hurt.
Happens.
Get hurt. So I'm looking forward to having this team this year because last year we deserve some W's.
Yeah, so we had a rough year too. So we had the 2nd overall pick. So we'll be in the same kind of same shape as you. We've done a little scouting. I draft against one of our fellow friends and known as possibly one of the worst coaches of all time, C.J. Hines.
He's not possibly known. He is the worst coach. Give
our listeners some statistics of C.J.'s coaching prowess.
Okay, so this year, well, let's just start over. So he is like 0 wins in his first 4 seasons of anything he's ever done.
Soccer, basketball, you name it, 0 wins.
Right. He won his first game his team won their first game probably 3 years ago in soccer. And it was the day that he didn't show up to the game and their assistant coached, and they won.
That's wonderful.
Okay, is that not wonderful?
That's great.
So he has gone just a long time without winning. And last basketball season, I think he won a couple.
I think he beat me.
And he beat
Unfortunately, he beat me.
And he beat you.
We had an off game.
Over the last 3 years, I do not know if you know this or not, but over the last 3 years, I have sponsored a little girls' soccer team in his age group so that I can beat him once a year.
Y'all are really true friends. Yes.
Once a year. The Coldwell Banker Boyden Hassel Tigers beat his team again this year. And I love it.
Wonderful.
Lou knows from the rec. She knows every year she can count on me to sponsor one team so I can put my name above the Sign Systems team.
So great.
It is great.
Yes.
That's what's great about sports. So, yes. He's the worst coach of all time.
Yes, thank you. Well,
and he's going to he will mess up on the draft.
So
if you have pick 2 or 3.
He drafts 1 because his team was terrible, a little bit more terrible than my team was last year. So he drafts in front of me. I had all my assistant coaches there last night. We're scouting the players. This is serious business. CJ's down there. I don't think he's got a pencil, a piece of paper, or anything. He's like, "What you think, Chad?" I'm like, "You're not taking notes, CJ? You're not making any notes?" He was like, "Nah, just have a feeling." I'm like, "You stick with that feeling, bro. I'm drafting behind you. It's going to be just like." He's going to be just dropping crumbs to me, these big, huge crumbs, and I just pick them up, and we go to the championship.
Yep.
You know how it goes?
Yeah, I know. Listen, it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing that he's friends with us. I really is. I'm kind of getting to the point where I've got to question my own sanity to want to hang out with him because he is taking losing to another level.
To a whole nother level.
Whole new level.
Yeah.
Whole new level. And you know what? He does it with such grace.
Class.
In class.
Yes.
That he deserves it. He deserves these L's. He does.
Well, anyway, I will look forward to it. I love sitting beside him in the draft room, too. You haven't got to experience this, I don't think.
No.
So I coach against him in soccer and basketball. So we're in the draft room. You can see him. Peering around, looking at people's, like high
notes.
school, everybody's notes, hey.
Number 9, how'd she dribble?
Number 10. Is she good? Because he's got like a blank sheet of paper in front of him, no notes. Anyway, it's going to be awesome. Draft tomorrow night. We'll let y'all know in a couple weeks how we did.
Hey, let me tell you something. So we were leaving the draft, leaving his skill assessments. It was me and another coach last night, and Lou. This guy comes walking in, and he was like, "You guys got it tomorrow, but my son can't make it tomorrow." And she's like, "It's all right. He's on the list. He'll get drafted." And he looks at me and he goes, "What picks you got?" I said, 1. He's like, "Don't miss out on Randall Williams." Or I think that's what his name is. Yeah. "Don't miss out on Randall Williams." I was like, "Is that your boy?" He said, "Yep." I looked at that other coach. That coach is like trying to like hone in, you know? Yes, he's like listening in a little bit. Yeah. I said, "Can he ball?" And he's like, "He's probably about an 8 out of 10. And I was like, all right.
Randall Williams.
So we'll see. Hey, that's going to be my flyer. Yeah. That's my number 2, second round, third round flyer.
There you go. Mm-hmm. Not if that other coach scoops him up earlier, though, Hank.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Well, real quick before we move on, let's read a wonderful message from our wonderful studio here, Hank.
Well, we do this on every podcast. We try to mention the mesh, and it really comes down to a few bullet points when we start talking about it. And it's, what a great opportunity it is to reach a targeted audience by, each one of these podcasts, by positioning your company or product or whatever it is in the middle of this podcast. It's not really expensive compared to all the other marketing that you may have options to do.
Right.
We've had several people doing it for this show and other shows, and I've actually talked to some of them. They thought that it was good marketing for their company. And if you have the need for that, you can go to themesh.tv and they can send you information on it, or you can email info@themesh.tv and they can give you more information on it. But it is a low-cost way of hitting a targeted audience.
Certainly. And just to tell our audience how creative these groups, the people in this Mesh studio are, did you see the John Reap video clip of the Joker? Did you see it on Facebook? You don't on social media.
No, I didn't.
Moose, you saw this thing, right? Dude, this thing, the production level of this ad. Here, check it out real quick. Our producer, Moose, is talking to us through the glass, and we're going to put this thing up real quick so you guys can see it. It's John Reap Joker, okay? So while Hank's doing that, I just want to mention, so there's great podcasts that are happening here, and all the creativity that's happening in all of Hickory. It's been pretty incredible over the last, I'd say, several years, but it's really happening now. We've got the City Walk kicking into gear. We've got all kinds of fun stuff coming into gear. Here we go.
I'm a ginger. What's not to love about ginger bread, ginger cookies, ginger ale, ginger snaps. That's when you pissed me off. Ginger from Gilligan's Island.
Ginger beard man.
It's way better than what they call it. These kids got it easy with the ginger.
This whole time I thought my special was a comedy.
I wish it called
Turns out it's a tragedy.
See, he's supposed to be the Joker. See? Transforming. Gingerbread man. You recognize where he is?
Yes.
Okay. So is that his next special? Okay. Yeah. Anyway, so they produced that right here.
Right. Pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome
stuff.
Do you know what I find it funny? Is the people that want to talk during movies, kind of like what you just did.
Yeah.
You're like, did you see that? That's just like the Joker. Look, watch this part. Watch this part. Watch this part. We're watching that part.
Typically, I don't do that, but I was uncomfortable in the I don't know what to do in a podcast. Should we comment on what we're seeing to the audience?
Sometimes less is more.
Okay, sometimes. Did you notice at the top of the stairs there's two people looking down?
What is this city doing?
What is going on down here?
Yeah.
Anyway, awesome job, Mesh Studio. John Reap, good luck with your big show. Not show. It is. Big show. Special coming up. Yes. So staying on that movie trend, look here in the USA Today, the number one movie was The Joker. It's been out 3 weeks. I think it's done over 150 million. Are you going to go see this movie?
I would like to see this movie.
Yeah.
Do you want to plan a date and then we don't go to it together?
Just like Godzilla?
Yeah.
Yes, we could probably do that. I'm not really anxious to see this movie.
I heard it's pretty
dark.
Yeah, dark.
Very dark.
Yep.
So let's go not at nighttime, not around Halloween, because I have very bad nerves and I don't like scary things. So maybe the middle of the day on a Wednesday, Tuesday matinee, when it's very sunny outside, we'll go walk into the Joker, get very depressed, then come out and see the sunshine at least. What do you think?
Sounds deadly.
Sounds good. Perfect. And then the other top 5 movies of the week of October 27th, Maleficent. You won't go take your son to see that, right?
No.
I took my girls to see the first one. Not bad. What's the girl's name that was Angelina Jolie? She is the star. The Addams Family.
Harris and Reagan went to see it the other day.
2 thumbs up, 3 stars. What we looking?
He's pretty critical
Yeah.
about movies, and he was like, it's good, but it wasn't great.
Average. Zombieland Part 2.
Nah.
No. And Last Countdown. No idea.
Final countdown? No.
Maybe so.
I don't know.
So anyway, that's what's going on in the box office, Hank. Maybe we'll try to see the Joker here in the next couple weeks.
Okay.
Anything else exciting going on in your world?
In my world?
In your world? Well, the World Series. That's big in your world.
That's huge in my
Talk
world.
to me about it,
Okay. The greatest thing about that is good pitching always beats good hitting.
Yes.
Always.
Yes.
And we had some of the best pitchers going, like in the game. And, they're Hall of Famers.
Right.
We got some great ones. And to go down 2-0, lose both games at home, and then go to Washington, you feel pretty comfortable. We're not gonna pull this one out.
Right.
Then to win 3 on the road is pretty amazing. And I'm pulling for the Astros.
Yes.
I like the Astros. I like Washington, but the only reason I want Washington to win is because I want to be able to look at Bryce Harper in the face and say, you suck.
You do not like Bryce Harper.
I do not like him.
Yeah.
Okay? And they can win it without your $330 million.
Yeah.
But I like how blue-collar the Astros are. I like Altuve. I like
Love that
Bregman.
dude.
Bregman's great. So, I think that is probably that's really important that they won 3 in a row away. And now you have Verlander going on the mound, who's never won a World Series start.
Right. Which
Hall
is
of
hard
Famer.
to believe.
Yeah.
His career and what he's done, never won a World Series.
Hall of Famer, without a doubt.
Easily.
Without a doubt. But
Maybe top 10 pitcher of all time.
we'll put a cherry on the top of his career if he wins this game tonight.
And I know you're not a betting man, Hank, but right now, Verlander is a minus 170 favorite to get it done, which means Strasburg is a big dog, plus 140.
Got to take Strasburg on that one.
All day long.
All day, man.
It's going 7. I think it's going 7.
Strasburg is the man. Barring he had a bunch of injury. He would have gone down as one of the greatest pitchers ever if, he just struggled with injury. But he is sick.
Yeah.
Sick. But, there's just a bunch of good ones.
Will you stay up? I know you typically would go to bed during the week at a decent hour. Will you stay up and watch the World Series?
I definitely will.
Harris stay up with you and watch it?
Depends on he'll watch most of it.
Yeah.
If it's a blowout,
Yeah.
I'll tell him to get to bed. But if it's close, I'll let him, because we were trying to get World Series tickets, and we try. My thing is experience. I want him to watch it and then talk about it.
Yeah.
Next year when the World Series is going on, you remember how crazy that game was?
Yes.
I want that kind of that thing to go on. But I'll definitely stay up, and I'm definitely pulling for the Astros.
Yep. Well, I'll be up, but rooting against you because I'm going with the Nationals tonight, buddy.
You know what I think here. Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
This isn't pointed in any direction.
Sure.
If you're a gambler, and year in and year out, you lose.
Yes.
consistently, let's say.
Yes.
Is there a point where you just say, this probably isn't my sport, I probably need to bow out?
No. I think you push through. You push on through.
Because this is how Vegas was built. You know that.
I know.
You don't leave a winner.
All the chips in.
Okay.
Just throw them on.
I just wanted to make sure that we're on the same page.
Why are you asking me this question?
I'm just asking because I've talked to you about your winning prowess, and I don't think you've been winning all that much.
I'm good at a lot of things in life, Hank. Really good. Gambling, not one of them. Not one of the top 25 things I do. Yes, yes. But anyway, it's a lot of fun, though.
I'm sure.
Pretty good. So we'll see how we do after this, with our gambling tips here.
So if it goes Game 7, who are you rooting for in Game 7?
Well, I think I'll be rooting for the Nationals again, but I think the Astros will win. Yes, in Game 7. But just Game 6, I'm pretty confident.
Altuve is pretty amazing.
Yeah.
To do what he does is pretty amazing. To be a power hitter at his size is amazing.
Do you want to hear a story about this man? You might already know this. So a couple scouts ran this little thing in Venezuela for all the kids just to come. They were like, go to Venezuela. They go to the countries, Central America, and there's tons of great baseball players there. And so they went down there. Altuve was like 13, 14 years old. They had cuts the first day. He got cut. Okay. So in his mind, he always wanted to be a baseball player. That's the only thing he ever wanted to do. But in his mind, he was like, I got cut. I might have to do something that's not baseball. Whatever you get, whatever job you could get in Venezuela.
Right.
I mean, he's planning. He wasn't much of a student, or anything. The next day, they only invited the people that made it to the next cut. Well, he changed. He said he wasn't Altuve. He changed his name. And the scouts didn't know much. One scout picked up on it. And the other scouts weren't even paying attention, but he went up to him and he was like, I know, I saw you yesterday. And Altuve was like, please, just let me play, right? So they let him play, whatever. They signed a couple of these young kids, but told that one scout said, man, I'm going to pass your name forward. It's not because I think you're a really good baseball player, but you got so much spunk. And you will not take no for an answer. That's what we want. Well, anyway, he got a shot. And once he got a shot, he never looked back. Right. I mean, he never looked back. He could be in Venezuela right now. Who knows? I mean, milking cows. What else do they do in Venezuela? Digging ditches.
Yeah.
But he would not say no. He would not let his dream die. And that one scout gave him the shot. And then, boom, he just took it from there.
Yeah, his dad said that every time he would come home from work, his dad, ever since he was little, could stand and throw. Yeah. He would meet him at the front door every day with a ball and glove. And he'd say, let's throw.
Let's do it.
Every day. And, and Altuve said, to his dad's credit, he never said no.
Yeah.
He threw with him every day. And, they were talking about him going to his home field. It's like a little field near his house. His dad would go out there and throw BP to him. One baseball. He'd throw it, hit it. He'd go back to the fence, go get it, come back, throw it, hit it. Altuve said the only problem that the problem that we'd have is there was this industrial building beside. He's like, if you fouled one off and you put it on the roof, then you got to go figure out where you're going to go get another ball.
Baseball. Unbelievable.
I mean, stories like that,
Determination, dedication, it's unreal.
Unbelievable. And his success is, good for him.
Yes.
I mean, you worry about kids coming out on the soccer field or a baseball field or a basketball court, and they've got $6,000 worth of gear on.
Right.
Mariano Rivera, he made his glove. He had an interview before his Hall of Fame speech, and they were saying, what was your first glove? And he was like, it was a cardboard. It was cardboard. And they were like, well, I have a cardboard and a knife here. Will you show me how you do it? And it took him like 3 minutes. He cut it, put his hand through it, and he's like, that's all we need right there. And he was like, that's all we needed. We didn't need a glove.
Yes.
We needed just a piece of cardboard.
And the love of the game. That's what you need, Hank. Let's teach these kids in this draft tomorrow when we get a team.
Philosophies,
yes. It starts with hard work and teamwork, Hank. Teamwork.
I hear you.
Buddy?
It's done.
I'm all tapped out.
Okay,
I gave it 110 today.
You should have.
Yes, I needed to make up for the last 2 weeks missed.
You should have. That's good. Well, we're glad to have you back.
Yeah, glad to be back.
Glad that we're all on the same page. Hope you have a wonderful Halloween.
Yeah.
Do you like how I just took that over? Did you feel it?
Absolutely.
I heard the wind come out
I
of
was
your
like,
sails right
what
there.
is happening here?
Yeah, I did, but I think you're able to be back on the team. All right, I'll let you back on the team.
Thanks, Cap. I appreciate that, and I'll look forward to talking to you in 2 weeks, where we'll sum up our wonderful Halloween festivities and get ready for my favorite holiday of the year, Thanksgiving.
Uh-oh, I feel a brother-in-law sighting.
Oh, you know it's coming. Well, anyway, big fan, listeners, so glad to be back. We'll talk to you in 2 weeks. Peace.
You've been listening to The Mesh, an online media network of shows and programs ranging from business to arts, sports to entertainment, music to community. All programs are available on the website as well as through iTunes and YouTube. Check us out online at themesh.tv. Discover other network shows and give us feedback on what you just heard.